In this video, what we're going to be doing is going over a tool that I have been using that is changing my workflow and causing me to spend a lot more time in the terminal. And this is it right here. You can see it looks really nice, has an absolutely beautiful UI. It's very easy to navigate. There's a whole bunch of keyboard shortcuts. This column or this section right here in the middle is our actual file explorer. Off to the side there, you see the preview window. So if I actually go down and hover over one of these videos here, we could get a preview of what's going on. If I jump over here, this is the sidebar where we can actually navigate to some of these folders. And you can see, I can see screenshots and previews of just about everything. You have the metadata, you have processes, which is processes actually running through this. We'll get to that. And we have a clipboard. And if we go jump over here, this is their website, Superfile, a fancy modern terminal file manager. Supports all the big systems. It's an MIT license written in Go, so I have a little bias towards it. It's written with Bubble T, which is a fantastic stack to build off of if you're going to build a terminal emulator or a terminal TUI, terminal user interface. You can do just about anything that you need to do within your graphical file manager. It's customizable. You can set up multiple panels. It has plugins and theming support. And installing it is actually pretty easy. If you are in Linux, you just use this SH script right here, and they have instructions no matter what system you're on. We jump back over here. I'm going to hit escape to go ahead and get out of there. I just installed it on this desktop, but I can actually SSH into another machine that I know I'm going to want to run this on. There we go. We're in. So all I need to do is run this command, type in our password, and now we could type SPF to go ahead and dive into files. You'd see, thank you for using Superfile, gives you some information and stuff that might be relevant. Hit the little question mark anytime we want, but that's about it. That's how you get it up and going. So we're going to dive into that a lot more, show you more of a demo, go over all the hotkeys, commands, all that, a full tutorial. Real quick, big thanks to Hawano for sponsoring today's video. Running two monitors on your desk with bulky stands is a problem you may have experienced. And the Hanu Flow Lift Pro monitor arm here in a dual configuration has been absolutely solid in my studio here for a couple of weeks now. Both arms clamp to the back of the desk with the Insta mount, and the one-click install system makes it take roughly 10 minutes to get all this mounted and positioned. A big upgrade is the Mecha Spring. Most arms use a gas spring which loses pressure and droops over time. This one uses a mechanical torsion spring instead. Tested for 50,000 lift cycles, there's no sag, no shaking, even when you lightly bump the desk. And that is the lock steady doing its thing. Tension gets dialed in through a yellow indicator ring in the precision view window, so instead of guessing, the right tension for the weight of each monitor is visible at a glance. Plus, it's ACA endorsed for ergonomics, which is fantastic for me because I sit here what feels like all day. But if you do need a new monitor mount, that will be the first link down below. I highly recommend it, and it's a pretty good price on Amazon right now. And if you use the code HNTechHut, you can save a little bit of additional money at checkout. It'll be the first link down below. Now what we're going to do is cover some of the usage, and what I really like about it is the actual hotkeys. The default ones are simple, but you could change it if you want to, if you're more comfortable with Vim hotkeys, so on and so forth. So for example, actually getting out of here, I could just hit escape or Q to quit out. And actually navigating this is pretty simple. So if I go and hit S, it's going to go over to the sidebar. If I hit S again, it goes right back to our middle section, our actual file browser. If I hit P, it's going to go ahead and focus on the processes. If I hit M, it's going to focus on the metadata. And if I hit colon, it's going to open up the prompt. And this is cool because then you can run commands such as open, cd. Now, if I want to create new panels, all I would need to do is hit N. And you can see we're creating actual new panels to go ahead and explore files. And we can use that just to get a nice overview and see everything that's going on. Now, if I hit W, it's going to go ahead and close those out. If I open up a couple again, and then you can hit Tab to go ahead and actually navigate in between all of these. Now, real quick, if I close some of these out, one thing that we could do is a period is going to show all your hidden files and directories. And actually moving up and down, I just use the arrow keys, or you can go ahead and use K and J. Now real quick, I went back to my local system because that's going to be a better example. If I go over here and let's say I went to GitHub under docs and I am to hit enter, what that's going to do is actually open up the file in whatever your default application is. Alternatively, if you just kind of want to stay in your terminal, what you could do is hit E, and what that will do is open up your default terminal text editor, whether it be Nano, Vim, whatever. So let's get out of here. And of course, there on the side, we could see previews of just about everything, which is really nice. Now, one thing I want to do is actually add some folders to that little pinned section on the sidebar. So what I can do is go back, and I want this entire GitHub folder there. So all I need to do is hit Shift P. Now you can see that that is pinned, which actually I did that wrong. I'm going to hit Shift P again, go into the GitHub directory, and then Shift P. And there we go. Now real quick, I want to show you how to actually sort files. All you need to do is hit O, and then you'll have your sort options here. You can see size, modified type. If I go size, for example, you can now see if I scroll down here, all of these are rather large file sizes. Now, if I want to reverse the sort, all I need to do is do a capital R, and you can see that that's now reversed. I'm going to hit escape real quick just to go back in fresh. And we're going to talk about searching, and this is really nice. All we need to do is a /. You can see now we have the little search selected. It says type something. Let's say I wanted to find a README. You can see there's nothing there, but then if I searched maybe iOS audit, we can find those things. So it's not recursive through your directories, it's for a single directory. But if I hit escape, it's going to go out of the search functionality. Now what I'm going to do is talk about selection mode. And so what I need to do is just hit V. Now if I wanted to select everything in the entire directory, I could just do Shift A and you can see everything selected. But I don't really want to do that. Let's say I wanted to select all of these screen recordings. What I could do is hit V, and you could go and hit enter, 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 select them all. Or if I hold Shift and go down, you could see it's going to select things that way. So I'm going to start deselected, hold Shift, and then go down, and you could see it's going to select all the files that I actually want to. We went a little too far there, so I'll quickly deselect the things I didn't mean to. If I hold Shift and go up, bam, 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 bam. And now while I have all these selected, I might as well show you some of the file operations. Now these are pretty simple. Control C for copy, X for cut, V for paste. You could rename files and things with R or Control R. Now let's say all of these, I want to cut them. So let's go Control X, they're cut. And you can see down there, I have a bunch of items in my clipboard. Now I'm going to hit V to get out of that selection mode. And first, we're going to create a new folder for me to paste all these into. And to do that, we're going to make a new file or new folder. It's kind of the same thing. So Control N. So here I could just type the file name, or if you could see add the /, it can make a folder. So I could call this something such as screencasts, add the /, hit enter, and now that's a new folder. So if I go up and actually find that folder, right there, jump on into screencasts and then do Control V. Boom, I've moved all those files. You could even see there in processes, it successfully moved all of them. Now, kind of same thing if I'm to go back here and let's do Control N for new. And this can be just a text example file, text.markdown. Go on down to that file and I can either hit enter or like we kind of showed earlier, if I go ahead and hit E, we're in Nano and this is text, output that, and then if I reload that preview, you could see this is text. If I do a Control R, you could see we are easily renaming that file. So text new, just like that. And let's say I Control C, Control V, the same file, you could see it makes a new one. And then I could just easily rename this just like that. And if I don't want either of these, I can hit Control D, and now they are both deleted. And if you have multiple editors, you can change the actual editor within the configuration, which we will get to. And there's actually some commands other than just getting into it. So if we go SPF and we run PL, for example, what that will do is it will list where everything is. So our config file is here, our hotkeys path is here. So actually this is all under .config superfile. So if I actually jump back in, if we hit the little dot, we go into our .config, and then we go on down to superfile. You can see we have the theme, the config, and the hotkeys. And you can see over here in the preview, some of the options that we have there. Now going into the config first, I believe it's E to open up Nano. There it is. So here is where you would change that. I would just go Nano. It's already set for me, so we're good to go. We have the directory editor. So for this, if I didn't want it to try to open up with like Vim, I could do Nemo, Dolphin, whatever your actual GUI file manager is. Auto update, change directory on quit, which this one I'm actually going to set to true. That does sound nice. So true, save that. By default, it's going to open image and file previews, which you can go ahead and disable that if you'd like to, and completely disable some of the panels if you want it to be really lightweight. And for default directory, we have our current working directory, and you could go through and change a lot more variables and things, a lot of stuff that we're not going to dive into every single one. If I go ahead and back out of there, we have our hotkeys. So if I open that up, you can see how easy it is to change all of these right here. And the hotkeys is actually a really nice way to go ahead and see what all the different variables and all the different things that I didn't even cover in this video, just the stuff that you can quickly and easily do with it. So if I get out of there, we also have the theme, and you can see we have a bunch of themes already pre-installed here. Blood, Dracula, Hacks, Nord, which I really like Nord. And I'm pretty sure you actually set your theme. If I go back into config, there should be a theme variable. Where is theme? There it is right here under styling. So the default is Capuchin Mocha. And if I changed it to something such as Nord, output that, you can see there's other options here. I do recommend you use nerd fonts for this. Show checkbox with select. You can change a lot of different things. But if I go ahead and get out of there and then let's relaunch it, you can see we now have Nord and those configurations are now in place. And of course, they're just simple config files. So it's really easy to go ahead and actually change the themes. And you can kind of see that if we go back into our config under our Superfile theme, you can see it's just base colors, color codes, things like that. So that is what I've been using to browse and explore files for the last couple days, primarily on this Mac. And as you can see, I'm getting it over onto some other machines. And I've just been having a good time with it, especially for things like server management. I'm really quick with changing directories and doing just like those super basic Linux file stuff. But this is kind of like the best of both worlds. It's a good balance between the quickness, the speed, the efficiency of just doing everything in the CLI, and some of the features and creature comforts that you'd get from using an actual file browser. So with all that, if you like this video, you might like one of my older videos where I go over a bunch of different really awesome terminal applications, TUI tools. So that video will be on screen now. And with all that, I do hope you have an absolutely beautiful day and goodbye.